the other side of the building up front.
All right.
And we'll let them play with the model. Do we want to
what about
this bucket on here for now?
what about maintenance? To the extra
maintenance wise, it's pretty simple. Grease every 8 hours. The monitor will tell you.
Oh, really?
500 hours, you'll come on the screen. This is an oil-filled case. It's not grease.
Okay.
And you'll change that first 500 hours, Roto oil. For the first 2 years. After that, you can use gear oil,
Okay.
but it's warranty. It's only 0.75 liters, so it's not a lot of oil in there whatsoever. You just tilt it down, drain it,
Okay.
tilt it back up, put 0.75 liters in there, or 3/4 of a quart, however you want to word it.
Yeah. Okay. So you got grease fitting here, here.
Yep, that's
Here.
every 8 hours, nothing special. Don't
Just-
hit this guy.
Is it just the 3 of them?
There's
there
not
more?
many. There's one here, one here. There should be one on the cylinder end. That's
this.
it.
All your pivot pins.
But don't
This
do
is
that
good.
one.
Don't do this one.
Don't do these.
Don't do this one. This one you need to do because it's going to fill your bottom of your stick. This one, if you do it, it's going to come right out here.
No, it's gonna be a mess.
Oh, okay.
So you got your grease
Right,
ports
so
on
these
your,
ones.
on your
Okay.
wishbone.
That's even easier to
Just
get
like
in there now.
Bobcat.
That's easier to get in there now. This is so much more open.
Yeah, right.
Got those hoses.
Spread down, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That actually seems easier. Okay. What else? In the cab?
Say again.
In the cab, we got some stuff.
Joysticks are gonna be a little
So you always got to hit OK. Go ahead and crank the engine up. Okay, so when this pops up, it's going to show you your shut-off lever's open. If it doesn't have pilot pressure, so the machine's off, you're going to get that code. When this is up, you're going to get that code. It's just letting you know your shut-off lever's open. So don't be alarmed. Now it goes away.
You only got to push OK once.
Yes, until you start coupling and uncoupling things. And I'll tell you visually verify and whatnot. And while we're here, I can show you that. So, real simple. This is your home screen. See that little lock over the green button?
Yes.
Hit that. That engages your coupler circuit. Okay. Put your switch right where your old exchange switch was. All you do is flip it. So your indicator tab come out.
Yep.
So you can uncouple. Now, you have about 2 minutes. You can do whatever you got to do. Get your new Bobcat grapple on. When you want to latch it, just flip it back the other way. That's when the screen is showing you to visually verify. That's your buttons on. Hit OK. And you're ready to operate.
Okay.
So
Is that red pin sticking up is an indicator when it's
in or
when
out.
it's in, it's locked.
Yep.
And when it's out, it's unlocked.
Exactly, but that doesn't mean your bucket's on if you didn't get the right, angle or whatnot on it. So always visually verify. This is a blank roller. This is going to be your tilt roller. This guy right here. This could be a rotation roller. See if we can get. All right, this guy right here. That's going to be your grapple. Finger roller under here. And this finger roller under here is going to be for your big grapple.
Okay.
Okay.
What about rotating this stick here? Because that was
So that's
on
going to be
this.
this top right here. Now it's heritable. So if you go full speed, it's going to go full speed.
Yeah, it's probably no different than the other one.
Yes.
That's where it is now.
So just go slow. If you got full throttle, it's going to give it full flow. Just heads up. So you'll max out. Don't want to do that. You also have your button right here. It's a pretty important button to see. Okay, so you hold this guy. And you can hold this tilt roller. Give it your little shake mode. When you have full flow, it works a lot better. I'll show you that. Now, if you go see how your icon's highlighted,
Yes.
hit OK. Say I want to always come back to this position. I hit set position. And I go to save position. And it'll come down to save position. So if I jack this thing up, go ahead and give it a little throttle. There you go. Now I hold this button. It'll bring me back to my home position. That's just a little feature. Now that only works in this screen. Then if you want to go back to pause function, you know, just leave the dot up. Okay. That'll tell you degrees where you're at. Other than that, there's not too much other than showing you how to operate it. So if you want to take it around to the dirt side,
Okay.
I'll meet you over there.
Sounds good.
All right.
You good?
It's different.
We'll give it a whirl. Even those sticks are different.
We're gonna... so confusing. Honestly, I thought that was going to be a lot harder.
Yeah, it's not that
Just
bad.
because, like, your brain, digging in your brain is this way, but now you're digging the other way.
If you're a good operator, it only takes about a week to nail it down.
It doesn't seem that bad. Just got to think of what function, I just think of what function I want that to do.
Right.
I'm going to let my hands figure it out.
That's it.
That wasn't that bad, actually.
Good. If you want to uncouple it, you can hook up to that thing backwards. So you can spin your rotation all the way around, hook it up that way, or you can spin it around, hook it up the proper way, however you want to do it. But you have that ability now to hook it up just like that. I want to show you how to hook that up the easiest way.
Okay.
So, there. It's supposed to be the other way, but you can hook it up that way.
Okay.
You just have to spin it around.
Road like that?
Yep. And you can hook up that way. There you go.
Just wait just a little bit.
Hook it my way.
On it.
And hit this button?
Flip your switch, yep.
Okay. Spin around and curl her in.
Oh, you're in horsehead.
It might not couple, so we might have to turn it off because it has constant pressure.
Gotta joggle it.
So turn the key on, put the arm down, and then just hit your relief. That finger button on the
This
left.
one?
Yep. The roller. There you go.
I heard it click.
And then it goes right on.
Keep that recorder going, right?
Right, yeah.
Hey, buddy.
What's going on?
How you been?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you.
You too.
You're probably more excited than I am about this, but I'm pretty darn excited.
Been a long time coming.
Yeah. No, this will really change the way you guys run your...
You have to do the same thing at least.
Gotta do it again.
Now these little black tabs, just
Oh, to take it off, gotta shut it off. Hit that.
So you see this little black tab, it spins in and locks.
Well,
Okay.
You can change these when these break too. You don't have to order them from us. Go to Parker, you can do different cuts.
Okay.
Just so you know. Or these guys, you
Like
don't
a
have to.
Bobcat or
Yeah,
a flat
I'm
face or something?
not a big fan of those particular
Design.
quick couplers.
Gotcha.
But yeah, man, you can go try to pick up a tire or something off that rack, whatever. It should be in the handle. Give us there you go. I can change that direction if you want.
Oh, well, it depends on which way you're. If you rotate the other way, it works.
Then you hit that finger roller over here. That's for that guy. So that's when you're digging, you get a boulder, pop out the boulder, whatever you want to do. Just don't overdo it. No more than 1,500 pounds on that one, and this guy can handle whatever the machine can handle usually.
Okay.
brake stuff. You get up in there and they're spinning, and then when it starts catching the hoses and wires.
Okay.
Just be aware of this side of the boom, what's in the brush when you're in it.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to do it.
We don't normally do that too often, so.
Okay, good.
This is gonna be probably used for unloading trees and stuff.
Okay.
Like new plantings and stuff, you know, just
Yeah,
grab
you
it,
just grab the
grab
whole
it
thing.
right off the truck.
Perfect,
like
yeah,
that.
that'll save you a lot of time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's why I want you to see, because people just dig into the piles and they tear it up. So if you're not the operator, just make sure your operator's aware that he's going to grab in a brush pile or not. That grapple will hold more force than, I'm sure you're seeing that. It'll hold more force on the object than the machine's capable of picking
Yeah,
up.
I see that. Seems pretty good.
Happy with it?
Yeah.
Alright. Now that's a tool, so you can lay it down like a tool. Don't try to stick it in the ground.
I was gonna say, what's the best way to,
Yeah, so curl it in, drop it like it's a bucket.
like, leave it, close it up?
Yep, you can close it up, keep it open. Curl it in like a bucket. And then go ahead and shut it off, relieve the pressure.
Oh, here, let me do this first. Hang on.
It's nice too though, as you get to a job site or something, you can use that little pincher and you can pick your buckets off your trailer.
Yeah.
Set 'em
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. All right, now what? Start it up?
Yep,
Yep.
start it up, come.
Pretty much watch, I can set it to this and always have it go back to
Yes.
flat.
Since you're already set, so you can always go back to that.
Okay.
Yep. And that one's just a blank. This one actually operates better than any Bobcat I put it on, to be honest.
Yep.
Yeah, they must have changed their coils or something. Operates pretty good.
Okay, we got this Bobcat E60 R2 series here. We just got this roto tilt installed on it. You saw I picked it up this morning. I already put it to work. This is the roto tilt R2 with the, you gotta get the roto tilt buckets, of course. This is a 47-inch ditching, which is the biggest bucket they'll allow on this unit. This is all bolted onto the machine, stays on, and then from here, this point, the buckets come off. We got 2 buckets with it, and a grapple, and then a grapple module, which is this lower unit here. It's kind of like a little pincher, almost like a clam, or not a clam, a lobster, a crab leg, almost. A crab leg kind of pinches stuff. Still getting used to that, but big long bucket. I mean, from end to end, the bucket on this thing's got to be 3 feet almost. It's like 3 foot by 4 foot. It's a big bucket. So it spins 360 degrees. It tilts either side. And what else can it do? It can lift. Got a little lifting hook here in the back they want you to use. And it really can, you can put this thing in any position. This machine is equipped with the long arm already. So it's really got some reach. I bet you it reaches 18 feet from the blade. And a pretty small, compact machine, in my opinion. Thumb goes off. Coupler that's on the machine was taken off as well. And it's going to be sold. It's got new joysticks. I'll show you those. One thing it looks like it's going to need is a counterweight. Because when you reach way out to the front or to the side, it's a little tippy. Just because it's probably about 700 pounds in attachment out front from the pin down, I would say, between the rotator and the bucket. So I'm gonna want something there to protect that. 2 hydraulic lines is all it takes. This is just the standard thing. They took off my secondary with the diverter valve. They took those off. 1 electrical connector. This is very important that doesn't get messed up. Really opened up inside the coupler here for greasing. Everything seems pretty easy to maintenance too. A lot of really easy to get to grease points. There's some gear oil that needs to be changed every 500 hours, which isn't a big deal. That's maybe once a year. In the cab now, we have a rototilt screen, rototilt joystick. We got 4 buttons on that side. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom. That's 8 buttons on that joystick. This joystick as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They replaced my coupling, uncoupling switch with a different switch. This is the rototilt switch. It's in the same place as the other one, but it's just new. And it functions a little differently. You have to have permission from the computer first to unhook the bucket. So in that case, you would just go in and push the green button, put the bucket in the scoop, or in the position it's actually in right now, kind of tilt it back, hit the switch over here, but bucket will uncouple and come off. Really not too hard to get. Pretty sleek actually. Joysticks are pretty comfortable. They kind of have like a shelf here to put your hand on when you're operating the machine. The whole computer system's inside here. It's got 2 fuses that are hidden behind there as well, so if something becomes a problem, but they're also hooked up to a Bobcat fuse, so you have 2 fuses if something happens to check. They got this nice little decal here for us. I don't know how you can see that through the glass, but it's a label for the joysticks and what they do, because there's so many of them. Extra grapple, this is the little guy underneath. The tilt, the horn is on this other joystick. Rotation, and then the big grapple. I'm not sure what else you could add to that to make it do more functions. There's a lot of buttons. It's also got a shake mode, which I'll put a little snippet of the video right here. I can scoop a pile of material and then just kind of shake the bucket and it'll fall off very gently. Also, it's got a return to home position, so I can set it to, let's say I want to be digging a swale on an angle like this. I can set it to that, and then I can push the return to home button, and no matter what position it's in terms of rotation and tilt, it'll return to that. If it's anything other than that, it will not. Like your dump and your stick and everything still stay wherever you have them, but the bucket and the tilt, the rotation and tilt, will go back to whatever home point you set it to. So the computer's not really a whole lot. There's a lot in there, but there's not much for us to actually worry about other than taking the buckets off. One thing with the big grapple that's sitting over a pallet right now, I'll go over and look at that in a minute, but it's got 2 hydraulic lines that you got to hook up, which obviously takes a little bit of time away. They're a little tough to put on there too. They could probably use some better couplings, like a flat face like this design, but you know, obviously a lot smaller. So they could improve that a little bit, make them just a little bit more standardized. But the buckets come on and off about as easy as they did before. It's just got another little thing to struggle with, is getting used to how this one hooks up. Grapple hooks up pretty easy, with the exception of the hydraulic lines. You have to shut the machine down, turn the key back on, release the pressure from the system before hooking your lines up. It's a little tricky for me right now. I haven't really had a good time to practice with it yet. The guy from Roto seemed to do it pretty quickly himself. He also got these pins here that they grab onto. He said you can grab any part of the center of it, no big deal, if you want to move it around. This is an indicator for whether the pin's grabbed or not. If it's stuck up like this, that means that the armature is not down. There's basically a big sliding U shape here that goes down and hooks on the pin grabber. It's a little different because it's a Sweden machine, or a Sweden attachment. So they kind of do things a little different over there compared to over here in the US. It seems like all the manufacturers have their own coupler. But this, even this setup here, this is called an S40, and all the other manufacturers use that same coupler. So your buckets are interchangeable. You can buy a Roto with a steel wrist bucket, and vice versa. You can mix and match attachments with other manufacturers. It kind of keeps them all on their game, honestly, but it makes it easier if you're going to do a transition switch over. They also have it available where you can, instead of having this pinned on, you can have it coupled on, so you can drop the whole rotator and go right back to your regular stick. We didn't opt for that. It'd just be another thing to make this even longer that was unnecessary. So it's already added about 18 inches on, and in that case now we have a balancing kind of issue. I mean, you can still work it, but the more you add on, you can kind of build the coupler however you want. You don't need this grapple. You could eliminate that, shrink it up a little bit, but figured this was the right way to go. So let's go take a look at the other bucket. Okay, here's the other 2 attachments that we got with it. We got a total of 4 attachments. 1 being this bucket, 2 being that grapple, 3 being the other big bucket, and 4 is the module grapple itself. That is an attachment, not necessary. And then you got the rotator assembly itself. So that's all one, altogether it's one package, but 5 separate line items. So here's the 24-inch bucket with teeth. pretty decent looking teeth here. A little bit loose, but the pins coming from the side, which are good because if they freeze, they won't fall out. I've had that happen with our Bobcats. The pins come from the top down, and what happens is they freeze and they slide right out, and then the tooth falls off. So, pretty heavy duty bucket. Looks like maybe 1/2 inch steel construction. Here's that coupler that I talked about. This is the S40. All of them have it. You can even buy plates to build your own attachment, which we probably will. But a very long bucket. That's by a 42-inch skid, and it's just as long as that, so maybe even longer than 3 feet. Deep, a lot of material if you heap it in there. This is the grapple. We put some work into it today already, scratching it all up. Again, S40 coupler. It's actually upside down right now. You have to hook it up. This is your grabbing pin, and this is the setting pin. So you would actually grab this end with the machine, and then the pin would set on that. You can't really tell, but this one's a little bit longer down here than up here. So these are the hydraulic lines. Very well protected. Maybe a little bit bigger of a sheath thing that needed, but this would just kind of clip right in here. And the grapple spreads pretty wide, so you can really grab a lot of stuff. I look forward to grabbing some trees with this thing. You know, laying down on a truck bed, grabbing them, standing them up, and setting them right back on the ground again. Again, that should be very helpful. So that's going to conclude this part. We'll get some more action of it digging and rotating and everything we can do. It's been pretty cool to have it. It's a big step for us getting the rotator. So we'll follow up, see how everything's going. Okay, we got the rotator on right now, and I got the 24-inch tooth bucket. I'm doing a little sifting through some soil here. Normally I would use my thumb to grab this stuff, but since I don't have one on this machine, I think I'm going to have to use this jaw on the back side. You can't see it open. Let's try this right here. I don't know if you can see it there. The baby jaw right on the top of the bucket. So I'm going to use my teeth and kind of sift through it, and then pick out the big roots, and then use this soil to backfill on this driveway.
Frustrated with a certain company, but what you know about that? Let me guess, is it Target? Oh, it's not Target for one. Is it Bud Light? No, it's not Bud Light. Is it Coke? No, don't go there. Is it? No. Oh, North Face, that's a good one. No. Eric, we give up. What is it? Okay, well, I woke up this morning with a real shock on the reverse and everywhere else. But, well, if you remember, Stuart and Kathy built a great company. It was kind of like a corner church in the malls and stuff. We would sit in and worship music together. And after he passed, God rest his soul, his son Dan took over, and all of a sudden little things started eroding, like money for Salvation Army. army and whatnot, so people would get upset about that. Well, now,
Okay, well, our first failure of the rotator. O-ring blew out from the main line coming in to feed this thing. Now, obviously, I don't know if could be a bad part or just when they assembled it, something went wrong. I really don't know for sure. To me, it's not really worth trying to get warranty out of this, because if they want a warranty, I'm going to have to bring the machine back to them. So it's just easier to get an O-ring. I thought the fitting was loose. I think the fitting did loosen up, and then the O-ring blew during that. So I mean, everything was tight and not leaking yesterday. So things happen. So I'm not going to make a big deal out of an O-ring or a loose fitting, which is probably what happened. The fitting loosened up. I could see, because they had marked it that it was tightened, and it was about a quarter turn off, and the fitting was loose and it started leaking oil. So we'll slap an O-ring in it, put it back together. No big deal. Okay, well, that'll wrap up today on Friday with the roto tilt. Got that back together. Looks like the fitting just loosened up and blew the O-ring. So not a terrible fix, but just enough of a headache to slow things down. Those hoses down there, the red ones, really do move a lot, so I'm not surprised that it came loose. It still kind of sucks, but we're back in operational, and that'll end up my day.